set?
Well, it's not the only picture yet.
Okay, it's 7:01. I call this meeting of the Holly Township Parks Commission to order. Stand for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for
some of us.
Roll call.
Hang on, sorry. Hutchins,
Here.
Martin. Here. McBride. Here. Feeney,
Here.
Coster,
Here.
and Miskovich.
Here.
Can I have a motion to excuse Sean from the meeting?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes. All right, on to the consent agreement, or agenda, I'm sorry. All items listed inside consent agreement are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the Holly Township Parks Commission and will be approved by one vote motion. There will be no separate discussion. If discussion is required, the item can be removed from the consent agenda and discussed separately immediately after consent agenda in the normal sequence of the regular agenda. Anybody wish to bring anything down? If I would like to bring down both items actually, and down to make those B and C under new business. Could do that.
You wanna bring agenda down to new business?
No, I want to bring the bills for payment,
They're already
I'm sorry,
separate.
the bills for payment down to B, and also the financial statement down to C, under new business.
Okay, they're already separate items, that's one.
Okay. They're not under consent, because that's the way,
No,
that's, oh,
consent is 3.
okay.
That's why they say 4.
Yeah,
Okay.
4 and 5.
Okay, okay, I'm sorry, I was looking at those as being under consent, the way they looked to me on the agenda there. All right, so moving on to public comment. Members of the public can address the board once recognized by the chairperson for items on the agenda only. Comments are limited to 4 minutes. The board may extend this time by up to an additional 4 minutes by a majority vote. Prior to addressing the board, the members of the public shall clearly state their name and address for the board. Anybody for public comment? Mr. Love.
First off, this agenda should be for October.
Oh, yeah, but you're right, I messed up on the top.
Yeah.
I think the right date, but not the right week.
Well, close anyway. This disc golf course, I was just wondering what the budget was for that, and also how it's going to be communicated. That's one thing I want to talk about a little further on, but and I'd like to know how the status is of this. And here's the flyer that that was passed out, and I'd like to understand what the status is, how people are going to come in. This was the one they made up just for that day, because they were playing over the baseball diamonds at the time, and I don't know what kind of signage there's going to be, or how they're going to figure out how to get to it, or what's taking place. So that's what my concern is about this, I call it the flying saucer operation. They're landing. And so I'll talk about the information box that I have, because that's where some of this information needs to be so people can figure out what's going on. That's my comment for that issue.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Love. On to the agenda, approval for the agenda. I'd like to add a couple of items to the agenda. For some reason, my items that I wanted on the agenda didn't reach it. So under new business, I like to add in water testing. And as Mr. Love mentioned, I'd also like to bring in about information box. So those are two separate items I'd like to bring on. And also, there was one other here that I wanted to bring up on that. And that was, nope, I think that we could probably cover that under the disc now that I'm looking at that. So anybody else have anything that they might want to add?
Pat,
At
the
this
reason
time.
they're not on the agenda is because you did not submit them in.
Well, both Kurt and I both had issues with getting items put on there, and it was sent in. You know, this has happened in the past. We're gonna have to look at how we can definitely get this corrected, because it's not the first time, and it does create issues when we're trying to communicate with the public on issues. So at this time, I just want to add those to the items, and we'll deal with that at a later date. But it's not the first time it's happened, and we need to correct this and make sure that it doesn't happen in the future.
Can I speak?
Sure.
Wasn't it your idea that these things had to be in by the Wednesday?
Yes, it did.
By 9 o'clock?
No.
And it isn't in, so I don't understand. If you don't, should we just change the rules?
I was told that
because-
mine didn't even make it in.
That's not true. It was arrived Thursday morning. You sent it, the outgoing, or your.
Okay,
input
Tony,
time was Thursday
like I
morning.
said, I'm adding this to the agenda as now.
The one-
Well, I'm not, and we're not going to get into the long discussion about it, because it's not the first time it's happened. We went around that my email wasn't correct, even though that's what's on the website, and we've had that a couple of times. I don't know what happened with Kurt's.
Mine was late, we worked it out.
Okay, worked
So-
it out. That's fine. If that's the case, I'm, going to add this on, and I think these issues do need to be put on here at this time. If that was a, major problem, you should have pointed that out to me. I didn't receive any email stating that. If that was the case, then so be it, that would be. But, if I had received an email stating I was late, then that would be the end of it. But I did not receive an email that I was
The
late.
very first page on the front of what I delivered to your house was a letter explaining the rules, and then.
Actually, we asked for a few months back to have a letter put up so we could pass out to individuals, and so I was thinking that was following up on the letter that we wanted to have the public. Tony, I appreciate your input, and like I said, a simple email is, Patrick, you're late, not acceptable under the rules. That would have been fine. I did not get
I
that.
did send that email, Patrick. I'm
You did
sure.
not.
I-
So,
I will
Tony,
bring proof at
that's
the
it.
next
I don't want to
meeting,
discuss it
because
anymore, Tony. Thank you.
You need to get approval of the board. You have
Yeah.
to.
Tony,
board has to-
I'm not asking you.
Okay, I'm just.
And
telling you.
please speak
Follow-
when you're asked to, okay?
Follow the procedure.
That would be well advised that you do that, Tony. And when you interrupt and you're becoming part of the discussion up here, that is not your place. You explained that I was late. If I was late, that's fine. I did not receive an email. We have had issues with this before. That's why the rules were brought up on there. I apologize to anybody if I was late and then I'm bringing these on. I think they're important to be on here, okay? If I had received notification that I was late, I would not have brought these up. I'm not trying to start a ruckus here about it, so that's, and if you, we'll put it to a vote. If you don't want to do that, that's fine, okay?
What's the second thing? Water testing and what else?
Information.
Courtney, do you have it? Did you have the water testing and information box? You have
Yes.
On that? Thank you. All right. All those in favor for those added to the agenda, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Oops.
Passes. Thank you. All right. So on to old business.
Are you gonna go for bills for payment and financial statements? We skipped those. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, that's the one thing, and I apologize for that, because the bills in the statement, where they were put, I thought they were under consent. So that's, when I brought that up earlier, I didn't want to throw any dispersion on anybody on that. That was my mistake, because where they were located on there. I misread it.
Right. I'm
Okay,
saying-
so you're right, Tony. I go back to that. Bills and payments. Do I have a motion to approve for bills and payments?
Yeah, I make a motion to pay the bills.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
It's,
A roll call, I'm sorry, you're right, go ahead.
Martin,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes.
Beanie,
Yes.
Coster,
Yes.
Miskovich,
Yes.
Hutchins.
Yes.
Passes. All right, on to financial statement. Do I have a motion to pass the financial statement?
I make a motion to pass the financial statement as is.
Do I have a second?
I will second.
Second by Courtney. Roll call?
This one does not require a roll call vote, but if you'd like one, I'll do one.
No, that's okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes. All right, now we're getting on to old business here. Old business, the disc golf course. Tony, since it's item you brought on, why don't you speak?
I have a couple things to talk to you guys about. I just got this, yesterday, late afternoon. So, here's the financial report from the, tournament that was held.
What's that?
No, you already did. You'll see on here that there were 123 participants who paid the $40. They had a raffle that raised $870, and they sold $405 worth of mulligans. They raised $6,195. If you look down at the expenses and copies of their invoices are on the next page. The discs for the fundraiser, so we handed out those discs to everybody, was $1,788.75. And then the baskets were purchased for $4,292.83. And you'll notice on that page that he gave us a huge discount. They sell for $449.98 a piece, and he sold them to us for $224.99. It's the very last page. If you flip over the first page and get to the last page, you'll see it was a huge success. Lots of people there. Lots of really positive things. We didn't have some of the back ones done, so we did use some up front around the golf course, or around the golf course, around the softball fields, which actually created some fun and interesting things because you had to get it over the fence, and in some places, one was very close to the fence. If you threw it wrong, it went over the fence, so then you had to go throw it back over the fence. But everybody had a really good time there, and so we now have 19 baskets because a gentleman donated a basket to the park, and then they purchased 18.
Nice.
So, second thing, we were all talking that day, and since they saw the moose, which they thought was kind of funny, here is the logo that was designed for the disc golf course. Yeah, you did. You did it when you accepted the consent agenda to begin
Okay.
with.
Thank you.
Yep.
I thought it was full print.
That was, well, I'll just show it to you guys.
That's cute. Very cute.
So, I know we said we weren't gonna pick one, but they all kind of thought it was funny, and then, so I would like to order discs. The only way I'm gonna be able to order discs is if I have a logo and I say I'm running a tournament. I would like to order discs, 100 of them, so we can start selling at the nature center. And the fact that they'll have our name on them and a logo and stuff on them, they'll sell even better because people who come to golf, they're like something with that. They also wanted me to make T-shirts. They made me golf with them, I've never disc golfed in my life, and every time I threw the dang disc, I kept saying, "At least I'm in the fairway." So that kind of became our slogan, our slogan. Thank you. I'm like slogan. Our slogan that day, and so everybody's like, "When are you gonna have T-shirts with the moose on it?" And then on the back say, "At least I'm in the fairway." So I'm gonna get prices because I'd like to either put them out and have them order them, which is how some of them do them, and then buy some to sell. But I do a lot of it through a pre-sale thing. But I needed your approval to go ahead with the moose and that kind of thing. So.
Do we have a schedule yet on when we're gonna get all the baskets and everything done yet?
I spent today, Joe's been working with me. He came up with what do you call that?
A fixture.
Whatever. Yeah, fixture to hold the
Mounting
pole,
poles, yeah.
the mounting pole in.
Yeah.
And I bought 18 bags, or no, I only bought 12 bags of cement today. And so I've got 4 of them completed. We have 5-gallon pails.
Wait, what do you mean you got four completed?
4 of the fixtures ready for them to take out in the pours.
So you're just getting the baskets ready to be
Yes, I'm
installed.
getting the pre-stuff ready for them.
So you're gonna just do the 19, the-
5-gallon pails with cement,
okay,
60 pounds of cement,
yeah.
and the post in it.
And when do you think you're gonna have that done?
Well, I'm hoping to have that done by Monday at the latest.
Okay,
There's 4 done for them. I met with them before I met with you guys today.
yeah.
So I also would like to rent a
Wait, you're,
Okay, so to answer your question, Kurt, to get the baskets and stuff in faster, either they dig them by hand, which they say they'll do 1 a week,
okay,
or we can rent a mini excavator and go out and dig the holes for them, and then that will let them put them in faster,
okay.
because the hole's already there, they just gotta go in and level it and put the thing in. So I found a place where I could rent it for $270, and that would be, I could pick it up Monday between 10 and 5, and it would have to be returned Monday morning, like at 9 a.m., which is nice, because a lot of places you can't get it till Saturday. That way it would allow me to,
When are you gonna pick it up?
Yeah, you just said
Monday and you're
or
gonna
Friday.
Friday.
Okay.
Pick it up Friday, sorry.
I like,
How much
I
was
was
that
thinking-
again?
I'm gonna pick it up Friday, I can pick it up Friday between
gotcha,
noon and 5.
okay.
What
Have to return it
Friday?
on Monday.
How much was it again?
$270.
And which Friday was that?
I haven't set a date yet because I have to set one where they can, are able to come out and work, because you don't wanna dig the holes and then have it rain.
Right.
So we're
Right.
kind of hoping to do next Friday,
The 22nd then?
yeah, hoping to,
Okay.
so that the holes would all be dug. Because we also have some trenching things we need to take care of in our park to, move the water, like, away from the nature center. Many of you have been there after a flood, after rain, and I've moved a bunch of dirt down there, which has helped significantly, but it still floods in front of the building
And phrases.
and freezes, and yeah, so, Joe and I were talking, he's willing to come and help run it too, to help, dig some areas where we need to clean things out.
So you said you're gonna be running what for 270?
A mini excavator.
And what is, it just got the scoop, okay.
It's got a scoop and it's actually got a little push blade on it.
Couldn't you just use an auger?
Then I wouldn't be able to dig the other stuff, and yes, no, they won't use an auger, and I'm not gonna use an auger out there, my shoulder's bad, so.
The auger would have to be a 12-inch.
They have,
Right.
yeah, which means it would have to be a tow behind,
Okay.
which is like
Did we get it-
150, so for like,
150?
something like that, I can't remember exactly, because. So I'm trying to do a twofer, I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone.
Okay, so, and what were you gonna do, you're just gonna level out behind the nature center or something?
We're gonna dig a trench or ditch.
A ditch, we're gonna
We're
re-ditch it.
gonna re-ditch it, and it's been filled in, and so the water all
Now,
runs
where's the ditching going at?
it's gonna go on, so it would go on the nature center side, coming down, it would take it back into,
By the propane? By the-
no,
Okay.
no, okay, so the left of the nature center, it would be.
Don't do left and right with me. I'm
If you're facing
dyslexic,
the
so.
nature center, the side where the trailer is.
Okay.
is stored.
Yeah,
How's that?
South
that's
side.
better.
The south side, right,
Yeah,
south side, that would be.
Okay, that works too.
so we would dig a ditch in that area to
Catch the water coming off the hill there?
catch the water coming off the hill. We would also, on the other side of the road, right directly across in front of the nature center,
Yeah.
we would put a ditch in, so when it's coming down that hill from up in the picnic area,
Yep.
there's that trail and stuff, it'd come down that hill, go into the ditch, and hopefully, we'll have to figure out if our culvert is clear or not.
Okay.
So,
There's a culvert there?
there it is.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I remember seeing it.
So you're looking for two things, you're looking for approval for the rental of this, and are you going to get us some
Yeah, I'll get you some quotes.
quotes on it, so you want approval on going ahead and getting the quotes, or
Well-
you can do that on your own?
Yeah, I can do that on
Okay.
my own, so.
So you're looking for,
I'm looking to see if you guys like the moose thing that I've had designed for us.
what's the consensus on that? Should you go ahead with that, I mean, is that something?
Should we go one by one? I'll start if you'd like. I think it's super cute. I think it's very, friendly, I guess, fun. The one concern that I have is that nowhere on the logo or the lettering says Sorensen, and I think that would be a great.
Yeah,
thing.
instead of saying Holly Township Parks, it may say Sorensen Park,
Yeah, just,
this golf course, or
So
Sorensen
they can
Park
look it up.
HTP, which is hiker T, or HTM, which is hiker T Moose.
yeah, well,
which is our logo.
perhaps the
You're right,
initials could be in the top of the basket or somewhere like a plaque on the basket
yep,
placed.
That would be
But
great.
yes, I would want Sorensen somewhere in the logo, so
Right.
it's an
You're right.
identifying, yeah.
I agree, that would be,
Are you gonna be adding any color to it?
um,
I think it'd be
Well,
better
colors-
if we added some colors to it, just to make
It's
it.
color costs us money, but
Yeah.
when you go to print, but, you know,
Yeah, what's $10?
Right,
right,
especially if you're gonna do T-shirts with just white and,
right.
well, they wouldn't be white t-shirts, they'd be colored t-shirts.
well, but you know
yeah.
what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, yep, okay.
That's only my comment. It looks cute. I think it looks nice.
I like it.
I can't draw with the crap, so it wouldn't.
Either can I.
No, and I've seen some of their stuff on some of their other courses and that, they do have stuff like this, so that would be good, I think. But yeah, I think Sorensen should take precedent over the township, because
Yep,
that's,
yeah,
you
you're
know,
right.
that should be the, Courtney, you think, you have anything on that, or?
Or you could even say Holly Township Sorensen Park.
Yeah, if you could
So
fit it,
it's,
yeah, that's,
you know, all
Or
inclusive.
Sorensen could be on the cup,
yeah,
or, yeah,
Basket.
something.
yeah.
He's adorable. I like that he's cross-eyed and looking up at the same time.
Well, yeah, he's crossing
well-
because he's looking up, trying to see the basket on set, so.
I think a consensus seems to be we like that, and you
Okay.
kinda got the idea of working Sorensen in on that. So, so let me make sure, you want to state how much again that you wanted for
I have
the,
One more comment,
Oh,
if I
sure,
could,
sure.
before, a suggestion perhaps. I'd almost like to see a disc flying towards it. I mean, I
Oh.
know what this is because I've seen
Mhm.
the disc golf courses, I've been on
That's
them
not a bad
before, but
idea.
the disc,
yeah,
you know, maybe
Yeah.
with
Just like a
with
little,
this on it, you know, redo the whole logo on the disc like you
Mhm.
were saying,
Oh, that'd be really,
yeah.
Hmm.
Or-
to make the moose that small.
Yeah, you're
Or-
gonna be able to see it.
just
Wouldn't be able to see
oh, I
through
see
the
what you're
air.
saying, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
that
you
is-
wanna make the moose big enough so it's on the
Yeah.
back, you don't wanna, yeah,
Well, the moose will end up on, so when we go ahead and order discs, this logo, once we finish it, will appear on our discs,
Mhm.
so.
proportion.
And then like if we're
down.
doing a tournament, and say we're doing a winter tournament, we'll throw a scarf on it.
Sean just texted me. He says, being in the wrestling business, I know a few peeps who make shirts. Get me a copy of designs and I could get quotes too.
Oh, good.
Okay.
But it'd be neat, yeah, with maybe a bunch of discs flying.
Or
Right.
on the floor, or
Yeah.
around you.
Yeah, maybe on the ground, that might work better.
I
yeah.
at one point said, let's put one in his mouth,
Uh,
but, you know,
Yeah.
Well, that wouldn't,
but
Maybe
then you lose the
eating it.
smile,
Yeah.
so.
Tony, just a suggestion, maybe just get a couple different designs.
right, yeah.
Okay, well,
that-
I'm not an artist, so.
No, I know, but
gotta-
whoever you have doing it,
yeah.
see if they could give us a few
Yeah.
choices.
Okay.
It's fun though.
All right,
I want one, I want a shirt.
so back to what you need approved tonight, and that's for the, equipment to do for the hose and to help alleviate the flood problems.
Isn't it, that's under 500, isn't it?
It is, I could actually do it under my own.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
I can.
okay.
I was just,
I mean,
I guess
yeah,
I'm telling
looking
you,
at
that's
the,
what my intention is
oh, yeah,
to,
yeah.
instead
Well, that's
of,
fine, because
you
I
know,
I
Did you
don't,
get all the buckets,
Yeah, we gotta
that
get
you
rid of
needed for
water.
the
I
hose?
think, did you, how many did you have?
We got 19 buckets.
Okay,
Okay.
Joe got us a bunch,
Okay.
all of them actually,
Because I've been looking around too.
Yeah,
trying to
so-
find some.
Where did we get them from? Did it,
people.
okay.
I tried McDonald's, they use Home Depot buckets now,
Oh, do they? Okay.
good buckets.
so.
Well, continuing on with the disc golf, I think we need some clarification for everybody, so we're looking at the amounts that came from for the fundraiser, correct? Now, when these purchases and that, were those purchases done under us, or was that was done with the group? Just so everybody's clear on that, this money did not come into the park system, so, just so we know going forward, so we don't have anybody saying, well, where did you spend the money, what money came in and that. I just want to make that clear, because I've had several people say, well, is the money going to you guys? And I said, no, it's going to the disc golf. They said, well, the disc golf is in your thing. I said, but we have,
Yeah,
Which-
they,
But they're putting it together.
yeah,
But-
right,
yeah.
which leads me to my next point with the disc golf, and that is, we need to have an agreement with them. Because right now, we're allowing a group, and they're a great group, once again, not trying to, any dispersion on anybody here. They're a great group, but we need to have a written agreement of what they expect from us and what we expect from them. I think we need to get some insight on that, what they're willing to do on an ongoing process on this, because once it's in there, it's gonna need to be maintained. We're gonna need to know what their schedule is. I mean, if they're gonna have a major tournament there and it's gonna take up the park, we need to let the public know in advance. It's not, we can't be like someone giving us a call and saying, well, what's the deal at the park on a Saturday? It was overrun with disc golf people. Well, if we give forewarning to it, that's, I think we need input from them, and I think we need input from the board, what we want to see too. And one thing I do really think we need to do is make sure that the maintenance, the division of the maintenance is very clear. Because without that, this could go awry real quick. I mean, you hear of, skate parks being put in and other things in parks and that, and one of the first things you hear is the maintenance lacked on it. There wasn't a plan to continue on what to do in the future. I think we need to have that. I don't know ideas how we would go about if we want to form a committee on that. Obviously Tony would be part of that because she's going to be the one that's going to be involved with them on more of a basis than the rest of us. But I think we need to come up with that. And also for sponsorship for the holes. We need to, if we're going to go forward and ask people for, I think we were bouncing around the idea of $500. We're
5 years.
going to need to explain to them what they're getting for their $500, how long they're going to have it, and what it's going to look like. And, I think most businesses or anybody that's going to contribute is going to want to see something too. It's like, well, I'm giving you the money. I want to see, tell me what I'm getting for it, I do believe we need to get on top of that, because once this is up and going, we can't be guessing at what's going on with it. Right now, it's in the process of being built, but after that, we need to have a plan. Any comments on that?
Well, the
Any
one
input?
thing, it also protects the Flint Flyers.
Correct.
So, I mean, that's the other thing. It's not just one way. It's
Right.
both ways. So
Right.
that way, at least we're including them, and they can tell us what days or whatever else that they want, and we can, if it's written down, then we can all agree to it.
Mhm.
But I would try to include them with getting the agreement, so we get everything captured that they would like included.
What would you think, Tony, of seeing if they're speaking to them, and maybe when Sean gets back, seeing if we could get a meeting together, then we could bring something back to the board, proposal. And like I said, I think we need input from everybody. It's like you have different views on it because I have no idea what kind of maintenance was there, and and I have no idea just how when people were telling me how popular this was, I was like, yeah, it seems somewhat. Wow, I've been amazed at how popular it is. So it is something that's going to be used. So do we kind of have a consensus that maybe we give Tony, see if we can get together a meeting with them?
Can I say,
Yeah.
I've already spoken to them,
Mm-hmm.
because you had sent me the text by error. And, really, they don't have an agreement with the, City of Flint Parks, Mott Park, and they don't have an agreement with
Holly.
Holly Rock area. As an organization, they are not interested in signing an agreement that says they have to maintain it.
We're not, I don't think that's.
However,
I don't think
Fix
that's
their
what we were
volunteers,
saying.
yeah.
okay, however, what they would like, the two guys that have basically done 90% of the work, of their end of the work, are both Holly Township residents. They've basically told me that, and they said it when they came in to talk to us to begin with, this is our facility once it's built. Their job is to get it built for us. If I call them up, they'll come and help me. And they basically said there's little to no maintenance because the disc golfers pretty much take care of it. And I'll say that day, that tournament, so you have 113 people who actually disc golfed. I didn't see a single bit of trash left anywhere.
Excellent.
So, which tells me that these are the kind of people that pick up after themselves. So if we have trash cans out there, then we're going to have to find someone to go out and empty the trash once. However, I'll have to come up with a thing, and it probably will, be our maintenance people. They'll run out there with a cart and dump the trash bins into a bag or whatever, and take it up and throw it out. What they would like is basically second choice to schedule tournaments. They schedule their tournaments a year in advance. They don't do. Our tournament was one of those things that got added, and they didn't do it a year in advance because we needed the money to get the baskets in. So
And the time.
they would like second opportunity. So we would have first opportunity to schedule. They would like second opportunity to schedule their tournaments. They would like to pay us $5 per person for the use of our facility, and then we would, like any other agreement, we would have a rental agreement with them, and we would include cleanup and
So-
clean. So
Why can't we write that down?
we can.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
we
that's
can't.
I mean,
the
if you want to
agreement.
call
I
it a
don't wanna-
rental agreement, I have no problems because
Other
I'm not
people-
talking about, some great in-depth thing. Like,
Right.
you have a tournament, the basket's broken there in the tournament, to say who's responsible for
Right,
replacing
right,
it,
right.
and stuff like that. If you want to call it a rental agreement,
No,
I have no issues with that, as long as
What
it
I'm
has some
saying is-
key points in there that, who
There
and
will
what.
be other people that want to use our facilities as well for running tournaments.
Mhm.
And so we would just come up with a plan, and like I said, they would like first opportunity, and they're willing to pay $5 per person. They're already talking about next year's junior tournament,
But
state
we
tournament. being there.
already have an agreement with them, verbal,
No,
so we need to get this written
right,
down.
no, they don't have
Okay.
a problem with us writing it down, and I don't have a
Okay.
problem with us writing it down.
Okay.
I'm just telling you what I've talked to them about, so you're aware this is what they're looking for.
Well, I'm not looking to say, okay, you're into a 20-year commitment or anything.
Well,
I'm
there
just
can't be,
looking
these guys have volunteered,
Well-
basically, to put this in. So we can't say, okay, thank you for volunteering
And
and
let's
pretty
take it,
much
right.
taking over the cost of this. Now, let's make a contract that says you're gonna take care of it for 20 years, because they might not even be a club in 20 years.
No, but that's, the point is, like you said, with the $5. Now, that's like,
That's a whole
now,
different thing,
okay,
yep.
equipment, is broken during the tournament.
Right, so
I
we would
mean, I
have
hardly, I don't know how often that
Yeah,
happens,
I
probably
don't see
rarely,
that ever
but
happening.
that's your responsibility to replace.
The
not
equipment
ours.
getting broken, I think, would be a tree coming down.
Yeah,
They're
but,
pretty solid.
yeah, but, when it comes down to that, we're not talking, some in-depth thing. And the one thing is too, when you say like the $5, and you just said it, that these people are, they come and go, but you want to have whoever else is in the group step up and say, here's what we did before. We have a template. This is what we do, so we don't
Right.
have to start all over again with someone saying,
Yep, I agree.
how do we rent this? How do we handle it? That's what we're looking for. I like that, now, if you want to call it a rental, that's fine with me.
Well, no, I think we have an agreement with them that they complete the job, and that, in the future, we agree to give them,
first dibs.
first dibs beyond us. And,
But the one thing we need to make sure is if they wanted they need to give us advance notice.
Well, she was
Oh,
just
they-
saying about the
they
year.
schedule a year
But
out.
right, so
Yeah.
that's just what I'm saying, we need to make sure all this stuff is in that thing, just so we're all aware of what we're agreeing to,
exactly,
so.
exactly.
Okay, well,
So,
I
and
think,
is,
I think what we're kind of coming to is that we're not looking at some extreme binding contract. We're just looking at some pretty basic, simple rules. And like, Donna brought up, we don't want to tie them down for because these people, it's a volunteer group and it's people who play and they're going to filter through. But the idea is that you can have consistency. So 3 years down the line, we can say, this is how we've been doing it. You're the new people. Hey, great. Glad to see you. So
Right.
I think that would be written down and, what you heard us say tonight, what we'd like to see, and you brought up, I think if we could get that down to $5, anything and like equipment, that's about the only thing I can think of myself that I would add in, anything broken during a tournament,
yeah.
because I'm going to say any other time that equipment's broken, that's obviously going to be on us, if they come
Right,
up and
and
they
there
point
will-
out something
yeah.
to us, it's like, that's on us, I
Yeah.
get that. And here's something else too, you're saying like with the money, I believe, this is just something for the future, I believe when we're talking about these fees and that coming from the $5 and that, I think we should have that in a separate account strictly for the disc golf. So we don't, if they, come forward that they, we want to improve it or do something with the disc golf, we don't sit there bound, we don't have the money. I think it's like, or pay to maintain, the money should come out, anything dealing with the course should come out of the money that comes in from it. That way, that way it's not a burden on any future boards that, have come up with the money for it, so, all right. The agreement for the holes, that's just one I think it would be a lot easier to sell to people, $500. I think we said 5 years.
For 5
Yeah,
years.
5 years, and be
Yeah,
the first
there
on.
we have to have some kind of contract.
Yeah, there we do have to have something.
Because I wouldn't mind actually going places and,
Right.
talking to them about it.
Mhm.
But yeah, we'd have to have something in writing that says, this is for 5, this is what's gonna happen, your name will be on this, and plus on the board in the front, and.
Yeah.
And we
that-
have the thing already from Calypso as to roughly what the signs will look like.
mhm.
So,
So if we
why
could-
don't I try to reach out to other parks departments, cause why are we don't need to reinvent the wheel and
No,
see
that's fine.
what type
it's-
of,
Sometimes the best stuff is the stuff you steal from someone else's idea there, so that'd be great. And probably true, you go to other places, it's probably been vetted too, so it's like, they know what will fly on that.
yep,
Yeah, if you can get that back with us, we appreciate that.
I'll put it out on the directors.
So as far as the compensation for the businesses that go ahead and adopt a basket, Donna, you had mentioned something that I wasn't aware of, like a name on a plaque or something?
Yeah, didn't you say something about
Yeah,
putting something in the
what I
front?
said I thought we should do, and we talked about it last month, was that they would have the plaque, the plaque on the hole, and it would just say their name. And up at the start, we would have a bigger sign where we would have their actual logo. Not necessarily, a plaque per se, but their logo would be on a sign thanking all,
The businesses.
businesses in
spots.
it,
Each
right.
adopter.
Yeah.
Would it be a possibility or a smart idea to put it on the actual map of the course, which hole is adopted, but, you know, this is the villagers, you know, the villager, name
Yeah, that
it.
would be
The
kind of,
villager is
Well,
hole number one.
The way disc golf works, they don't actually hand out maps for the course. There's a program online,
Oh,
it
Yeah.
tells you everything, and it
Well, they
keeps your
put-
score and
You put the hole
everything.
number, the holes,
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you just follow.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
that's it.
but there would be a sign at each hole that says,
1, 2.
or a
one,
little flag maybe off the top or something.
No, just the sign.
Not
the
just a
sign with
sign.
their name on it.
You want something durable that you don't
Yeah.
have to keep
And then on the signs it'll
replacing.
show like
They're
the next,
concerned with our idea of the plastic
Yes,
signs
just
too,
like
after
golf.
I showed it to them, and they're like, oh, that's kinda cool, but it'll probably get broke.
Mhm.
So we're gonna have to figure out some way
Something a little more durable.
to keep it from people just being able to break it off.
They've done that to all our signs.
Right.
Sandwiching it in like plexiglass or something.
Put bottom wire.
So anyways,
Well, so we could go forward with that item. That's, nothing needs to be approved on that. On the next item, which,
it's actually kinda,
holidays.
Donna?
Yeah, I just wanted to say for holidays that we had a really great time with that basket and everybody that was there. We didn't have anybody say anything bad about the course. There was a lot of interest in it. They can't wait for it to get built. We had a lot of fun at holidays and I really appreciate Sean, thank you Sean, wherever you are,
He's
for
watching.
staying with me the whole
I know
day.
he's watching.
He actually learned how to finally hit the basket after about 100 shots. He did really well.
He's not here to defend himself, come on.
Well, it took me 200. So, I mean, they put us in a pretty bad place. They put us right in front of the porta potties. So
People
every time somebody
evacuating
come
the-
out, you had to wait
Oh, no.
without hitting them.
Sorry.
But we had a lot of interest in it, and I just wanted to say that thank you, Sean, for helping out. And there was not one bad thing said about the park coming
A lot of enthusiasm there. All right, next item I'm going to say is probably under Tony, the beach.
yep, I just wanted to give you guys and I typed it out, a count for the summer, so you can have an idea of, usage. I had my beach staff count. I should actually probably wait to talk till I sit back down, so people can hear me. I had my beach staff count every day. I actually had them do it by every half hour. How many people were, how many people came into the park that half hour, and then how many people were in the park. So say the three of you came into the park at 1 o'clock, and the three of you came into the park at 1:30, and you were all still there, so one side which is what this count is, would say 3 at 1, 3 at 1:30, okay? But there was also a count at 1:30 that says total in the park, so it would tell me that I had 6 patrons in the park. It allowed me to move start times for lifeguards to have a better coverage, based on when the park was being used by people. So, basically what we discovered this summer was that from noon to 1, we had very few people. At 1 o'clock, people walked in. So I went from having 3 lifeguards at noon to having 2 lifeguards at noon and the third person coming in at 1. So that gave them, instead of leaving at 5, that gave them until 6, because most people were leaving between 5 and 6. So then it went back down to just the supervisor and the lifeguard. So that's where the beach stood.
All right, well,
So,
any questions on the beach?
and it kind of was an eye-opener. I mean, obviously it wasn't 3,129 separate people that used the beach.
Right.
But still, if you look at July and August, almost 13,000 both months of people going through that facility is a lot more than I would have guessed.
Why do we got the
Yeah,
gap
one
between?
thousand.
1,000. Not
Or 1,000, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000
Tony, I
per
do have a question for you on the beach. I'm not aware, I haven't spoken to you lately, unfortunately, but, what's the plan for the water?
What do you mean?
Displacement. You know, how it was so
Yeah.
flooded most of the year. Is there a plan to, or is that part of what's going on with the downtown roads?
No, we spoke about this at the last meeting. Joe asked for rocks for the village parks, and in turn, we're gonna ask Ryan to bring in some dirt from our piles in the back where the wood chips have broken down. Cause
So
we have a
this
couple
is
piles.
the first year, though?
This is the
happened,
first
right?
year that it's been anywhere near as bad as it is now.
Okay.
So, the hopes are to bring in some of our dirt, either late fall, early winter, to kind of fill in those areas. I mowed today there, and I only could mow probably probably maybe half the beach,
Wow.
because the rest is underwater. I'm thinking about planting rice up by where that barn used to be. Cause that's no, I'm just kidding, but, and Kurt, to answer your question, which is why is there a gap, because the kids went back to school, so we were closed.
Oh, okay, that's what I
And
figured, but I just wanted to know
and
everything
I
else
made
was-
the decision on my own to open for Labor Day weekend,
Okay,
so.
And next year, hopefully we'll be able to charge again for.
That's something you guys are gonna have to make a decision in probably January.
Any other questions? Joe?
A little past history on the beach flooding. The house next door, the only house next door, used to be a vacant lot. It was a foot lower than the beach. And on that sidewalk up along there, you'll find a culvert tube that used to go down into that lot and go down to the lake. That house was allowed to be built on that lot. It was built on 30-foot pressure-treated telephone poles because there's no bottom. And it was allowed to be built 4 feet higher than the beach. And that should have never happened because we're getting all their water and the neighbor's water. That line is all plugged up, doesn't work, and it used to dump into that lot. And that lot was at least a foot lower than the beach, maybe 2 foot at one time. Because we used to drag our ice shanties through there because it was a vacant lot and put them out on lake. That was 45 years ago. So
Yeah, we used to go through there when we got kicked out of the beach. You'd go
Yeah.
down there.
so
Yeah, you
that's
can
some
see
past
when you
history.
walk along there.
The flooding has gotten worse because everything's flooded in this town.
Yeah.
You know, we're in the bottom of a river valley.
Right.
Hello. And Detroit hasn't done much better. But like I say, the only thing we can do is backfill our beach, but we're still going to have a water problem.
So is there any recourse for the culvert or the drainage that, it was a village decision, I'm assuming that this house was approved to be built?
Yes.
Isn't
and
there some way we can ask for their assistance to clean out the
well,
culvert? I mean, it would seem
Is
like-
that on our property? The
it's
whole-
on their property.
It's on their
We used
property?
to dump onto that property, and I don't know how far the culvert went down. We just used to disperse our parking lot. It's actually parking lot drainage, but we're built on sand. And every year when you get the ground wet, thaw and freeze, it compacts that sand down.
Right.
And pretty soon, now our beach is two foot lower than it ever was before. And it's gonna keep doing that. So it's gonna be a never-ending problem. And DEQ gets a little worried about parking lot drainage into the lake because of antifreeze, gasoline, oils.
Right.
So all we can do is, we're gonna backfill that with sand from the chip piles, the old chip piles. So it's gonna be a constant problem. If we could build it up enough, where it drained towards the lake naturally, but
Your problem's gonna be your pavilion too.
Right,
Try
you're
that,
gonna be higher
because-
than pavilion, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it already drains, when we get enough water, it actually floods through that pavilion now, it's never, ever
No.
done that.
So is there any way then to, on our property, create a drain?
Right.
to where?
Yeah, you can't drain it to the lake.
And we can't drain it to pass and drain.
I mean, we
what
could-
about a French drain?
They're against the law.
They're not against the law.
A French drain, you talk about drywall,
Yeah,
they're against the law.
how are they against the law?
I've heard that. I don't know why, but I have heard that.
Okay, let's back up a little bit here. Or you call it a French drain.
Dry
Yeah.
drain.
When your septic tank failed, or your field system failed,
Right.
you built a dry well. You go out and get a bunch of cement blocks, put the holes out, fill it full of old car parts,
Well,
cement
no,
blocks,
that's-
anything else, put a lid on it. That's a dry well. They're against the law.
Well, when you're putting garbage in it, but if you just
No.
put gravel
They
and,
won't.
No.
I've been told, didn't go any further than being told that
well,
was not
maybe we need to
allowed.
look at that and make sure that it's.
Okay, now the
Yeah,
other problem is,
Cause I've,
we gotta go
Yeah.
down in the ground to build a dry well. We're at lake level. Guess what? At my house, I'm 3 feet higher than the beach.
Right.
At my house, I can dig
no,
a
you're right,
post hole.
that's right, yep.
30 inches, I hit
No,
water
you're
up
right.
the
Adding the
road.
trees, the tree roots
No,
are
that's
warm,
right.
probably, yeah.
Yeah. So much, we got a water problem that, and this has been the only time it's ever been flooded that bad.
Oh yeah, this year has been the worst year I've ever seen.
In my backyard was
I
flooded.
have never had the flooding in the middle of the park like I have. I took pictures the other day of ducks swimming in the middle of the beach there in that,
Yeah.
you know, I was like, and they were swimming, they weren't
That's
just
right,
wading, they
or-
were swimming, so.
And that house was built 35 years ago. The sins of everybody else. So,
Right.
yeah, that's all done.
Well, speaking of water, I see under new business, I think this would be the well and the water pump.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it this way this time. You guys wanna take one and pass it down? Karen Winchester, called me the other day and asked that there's someone in the township, I guess, that's willing to give them money to put 5 wells in the outer township in the event that the grid should go down. They would be hand pump wells, so that people would still be able to get fresh water. They would like to put one, between the first barn and the road. Obviously, we would have to have it out of the way of, the dumpster, because between the first, so I'm thinking maybe it would be on the other side of the trees.
So as you're coming in, it would be off to the right, the first barn, and it would be up that way? Is that what I'm picturing?
I don't know, cause I didn't actually meet with her. I'm thinking, and I don't know, that it would make, so you know where there's the pine trees?
Yeah.
And on the
right.
other, between the pine trees and the road, there's that section there.
Okay,
I'm thinking that would be
okay,
a good
all
place
right,
for it.
all right,
because
so
then it
that's
would be-
closer to the road than I was thinking.
What I said was that, and she put it in here, the maintenance of the well would be provided by the township in conjunction with maintenance of the other 4 wells. So, you know, I think before you enter into any agreement with them, you're gonna want a written agreement with them that says they'll pay for everything.
Right,
Because
exactly.
wells, you know, Karen's like, well, it won't have to be water tested, and I'm like, yes, it will. She's like, it's a type 2 well. I said, Karen, a type 2 well, we're tested every 4 months, or every 3 months, at the nature center. So you would have to take a sample down there. I told her the price, I don't remember, it's like $15 or something now, every time I go down there, it's a different price. Yeah, they would have to pay for that, and, if the well needs chloriding, because our well needed chloriding, if you got, those of you that are on the board a couple years ago, we had to chloride our well, that happens to wells. And the problem with these kind of wells that they're talking about is if they don't get used, they build up bacteria, but that wouldn't really be our problem, I wouldn't think so much as,
Well, let's
You know.
designate to the folks here, when you're talking about our well, not our nature center well, our pump well, our hydrant pump up on top of the hill.
that is closed off and does not work.
Yep.
We shut it down because of what I'm telling you.
So we had, there's a hydrant pump up there.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it doesn't work. We shut it down many years ago because it wasn't used enough, and so we were constantly having to chloride it.
Right.
But the well at the nature center needed to be chlorided a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So-
And is this all gonna be part of that aqueduct that's coming off of Falk Road? I mean, I know it's.
No, I've been involved with it. If it is, it's something last
Well,
minute that it has anything to
I'm
do
gonna
with
say,
that.
Donna, our well's
Is that
tested, the well at the nature center is tested, so it would be, I would assume in the same aquifer as that, and that comes back with 0 every time, pretty
Okay.
much.
Okay.
So,
Let's,
But let's stay on this here. So this is a request. And it's not like they're saying they have the right to come in to do
Yeah.
it. They're
No,
asking,
no,
they're
they're
asking
asking
us on
permission.
this.
Yeah,
And I agree with the fact that we need to have something in writing saying that we're not paying for
Paying for
this
any-
and we're not
yeah.
paying in the future on
for
that.
maintenance of it.
For
or any
maintenance
type
of it,
maintenance
right.
or repairs.
I mean, I don't think, does anybody have a issue with it?
Well,
I don't.
maybe you
I don't
guys
see
could
an
make a
issue.
motion, because I know she needs to get this out. Maybe
Alright.
you could make a motion to go ahead with the well as long as the township took the responsibility for any maintenance costs or repairs.
Alright.
Testing,
Could you-
maintenance, or repairs to the well.
Would someone like to
Maybe
make
there's
that
a
as a
written
motion? I think
agreement.
that would be the way to deal with it, that
I
we approve it on the basis that we have a written agreement stating that there is no financial liability for the parks, maintaining it in the future. Does that sound
That sounds-
reasonable?
yeah.
Okay. Do we need a roll call or can we do a voice vote on? Let's do a roll call just so.
Okay.
Well, first of
Well,
all, do
shouldn't
I
there be
have a
motion?
motion? Yeah,
Yeah,
can
you
I-
can make a
motion, I'm sorry.
that we tell her, okay, as long as the maintenance is taken care of, and that we are not responsible for.
You wanna say
Anybody-
testing, maintenance, and repairs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No
That's
financial cost of testing,
Correct.
maintenance, or repairs.
Correct.
Or if somebody
Or
comes in and says,
installation.
I got sick
Yes.
on your water or whatever.
And it's
Liability.
Liability.
liability, yeah.
Okay.
Do I have a second on that?
I'll second.
Second, by Kurt?
I'll do one.
You go on that? Okay, let's just do a roll call, just,
Alright, Feeny,
yes.
Coster,
Yes.
Niskovich,
Yes.
Hutchins,
yes.
Martin,
Yeah.
McBride.
Yes.
And I see no nays, so it passes. Thank you. All right, that comes down to the add-ons, and we're going to continue on water. And actually, what you just told me is kind of encouraging, because I was going to bring up the fact that Mr. Love, there's been an ongoing debate with the mobile home project going on. Well, as part of what they legally can do, the mobile home has park has a permit to take their treated water from their system, which is in the park, and put it into the Kearns marshland, which obviously, yeah.
We are talking specifically about Holly Hills.
Holly Hills, yes,
Okay,
okay,
just
yeah,
to be
yeah,
specific.
Holly Hills, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
More people would probably know as Holly Hills. And they had the right to put the water in there, once it's been treated. Well, over the course of time, we have discovered that that system has broken down. It has, and dumped waste into the marshland. We had a citizen, Mr. Love, just had water tested and took it to the Oakland County Health Department, and I think he passed out some information there. And what I'm asking is, I know people are going to say I've been involved with a lot of the other issues with Falk Road and that. Yes, I have. But in this case, I'm looking strictly about the parks here. And it's not a case of picking a fight or getting involved with any of the other issues there. What I'd like to have done is like water up near like the observation deck, most likely during the summertime, springtime and summertime, tested, that taken to the Oakland County, health board, have it tested to find out, if there's any issues. I realize we're not in a position to be involved in any of the argument and fights there, but I think we need to be able to warn the public if there's any potential dangers. Obviously, when they have issues with it, you're talking raw sewage could possibly enter the thing. I've been told in the past, well, the expense in that, well, as Tony pointed out, we're talking, I think Mr. Love said his test was $12. Tony, I think you said it was 15 or something like that.
It depends on what test.
Yeah, right. So.
Are you just looking for E. coli or?
Yeah, E. coli. That especially during the summertime, obviously that would be one of the one of the things we'd be looking for. So, like I said, I'm not looking to get involved in any other issues with this. I'm just looking for something that if we need to forewarn the users of Sorensen Park that there's an issue with the water. At first I'm thinking, well, no big deal, because I use the park, or when I go out in the park, I go hiking through there. I never get near the water, but that's me, you know. I have actually seen people fishing back there on great occasions. I'm like, that seems like a long way to go back to fish, but you know, there are people that will do that. So what I was looking for was approval to have Tony be able to take samples and to take them to the Oakland County Health Department. And like I said, I'm looking like, you know, this time of year, I'm not looking for you to go chopping ice during the winter
Well,
time.
no, I'm just wondering, like, how I'm gonna get out to get those samples.
Well, that's the
Mud
next
and
que-
muck and everything
Well,
else,
that's the
so-
next thing. Would you need assistance? Because that would be something I'd be willing to help out with.
Before we
on
go
there.
too far, doesn't Oakland County have to test some of these waterways already, or no?
They, and I don't
Yeah.
know, have you, I mean.
They
so
are
you
frustrated.
John, the water you tested was what? From someone's house or what?
From the culvert, I
It was
believe.
from the culvert at this road there, the
Okay.
offfall from the trailer park. So
Okay, and
when
they
the
just.
treatment
That's
they're
that's the
doing, they're not
that's the
treating
pipe they
enough.
use to
Yeah,
pump
no,
it
I
in
was
there.
just trying to figure
No,
out,
no,
like,
that's-
so they knew that that's what you were testing, I
It's
assume,
right on
right?
the form there, yeah.
So,
I was thinking about going out and getting one myself and turning it in.
but you know, the thing is with it is they legally have the right to do it. What the problem
They
we've
have the
found.
legal right to discharge it, they don't have the right to put crap in it.
No, I understand, John, on that, but what I'm trying to say is that we, you know, there's no argument there, there's nothing illegal they're doing. It's the problem we have found with groups I've been involved with is we don't find out when there's been an issue with their treatment plant. It's been months, it's been years before the information's come out. You know, unless you got someone there to tell you that, hey, the system went down. That's
Right,
good.
and I do have something to add at this point. I mean, I'm super concerned. We just agreed to a hand pump. And if our water is contaminated at the park,
But it's not,
but potentially
right?
from the
Yeah,
marsh.
yeah, that's, right now, my thought was on it, you know, I mean, we've had unprecedented rainfall this year. So, I mean, I suppose there's probably places water hasn't been before. But right now, I'm thinking mostly would be along the marsh itself, because that would be where probably the highest concentration would be, you know. And like I said, once again, it's one of those things where you can't ever figure out exactly where everybody's gonna go in the park. So I just wanna be able to say, you know, look, we did our due diligence. If we need to put a sign up saying, please don't go in the water, you know, please don't ever. And Tony, I don't wanna dump another thing on you, but I'd be willing to help out on that, you know, on that. I understand. And like I said, the winter months, I don't see a point in it, because I'm looking when people
Probably
could
easier
actually
for
come
you
in.
to get to,
Yeah,
get to
I
the
would
water.
make-
Well, yeah, it could be out on the ice,
I would
that's
assume
true.
you're gonna want someone to kayak down to there or something and then take the water sample.
We could possibly do that. My other thought was, we do have a couple of groups in the area to, Sue Jillian and the Friends of the Siawassee, and I was wondering if they might be able to help us out, and, you know,
You know, my other concern is us posting a sign saying that the waterway should be closed. I'm not sure that.
well, we might not,
I worry
well,
about that.
I
So maybe on Facebook, we would say we tested the water and came back
Or
at
there
this,
could
is that
be
what you're
some
saying?
sort of-
yeah,
I'm just
some,
trying- I'm
you
looking
need,
for
you're right,
clarification.
you're right, because you don't wanna
On
do
the sign.
something permanently, that might be too much, but the thing is, it's for our knowledge also. So, you know, we're not making plans on, well, let's do something over here. Well, that might not be a good idea to encourage people to go over there if there's a water issue on that. So I was just looking to give Tony the authority to come up with the plan. Like I said, since I brought it up, Tony, you can more than use me as a helper on it. And like I said, I probably will reach out to some of the local groups here who are involved with the
So I
river.
can stand on your shoulder. I'm just
Well,
saying.
there we go. We could do that. You know, it's like
And Kathy, to answer your thing, the well's gonna have to be tested.
right, and that's
So, and it will be shut down if it comes back bad.
right.
So,
You
you
said
know,
every 3 months?
yes,
Yeah.
4 times a year.
So could I think on this one we could just do a voice vote.
Well,
you know,
before
so
we
we
get,
can-
can we look into possibly if there's other testing going on that we're maybe not aware of? I don't know if there's a way to check with Oakland County or the state.
They
even.
don't,
They
I'm
did-
pretty sure they do not test the.
They have
Shiprock
not,
River.
when I asked last year, I brought it up that I wanted the township to place a monitor well in Kearns Marsh. And when the township turned that idea down, I went to the county, and the county says, well, you could bring us samples. but we won't do that. They said it's current, just for general information, the Kern Marsh is owned by Lloyd Kern's family. It's not a public, one, and another family, I forget the gentleman's name, basically, do own the marsh, so the way they look at it, the county looks at it is it's private property, When I did look at it to try to see if the township would do anything, both Mr. Kern and the other owner had no issues with that. And matter of fact, they will.
I mean, I suppose we could also just test the water going into the stream.
Well, I'm thinking where
There's a
Mr.
stream, there's a stream coming off of, under that.
Well,
bridge.
that was one of my concerns was that water it's coming in from, and that's one that would probably most likely people would come in contact with.
Yeah, that's the one that would go into our wetland. area.
Right, yeah, that would be an area that I would,
Is that the one at the bridge? Is that-
Yeah.
yeah, the bridge,
That flows away
Into,
from,
yeah.
yeah.
It flows away from
away
our
from
park.
our park, it goes toward the outfall from the trailer park. Doesn't go from there.
You sure
Yeah,
on that
it's
one?
going out, it's going out.
Is
the
it going
Shi-
out?
It goes into
Okay.
the Shiawassee, it doesn't come the other
Yeah.
way.
So,
Okay.
well, couldn't hurt to check though. I mean, one of those things. But does the idea of having testing it, does that, I mean, the expense isn't great, I think,
But it's not flowing in.
No, but we still have the marsh.
Well, I was
And,
gonna
you
go
know.
out to where the Mott place is and pick some up there.
The overlook.
The overlook, yeah, I keep saying observation, that the overlook, that would be, that would be the most, area that would be the most concern, because that would be most likely where anybody would come in contact with the marsh itself. So,
Well, I'm gonna do that when I do my second test, so.
well, appreciate hearing some results on that, if you could, on that. So, I don't know, do you think we need a vote, or should we just consensus that we'd like to see it done? How about we do a vote just to make it official, that we give Tony the authority to test the water?
The only thing, can we check with the state and see if the state does any kind of checking, or if we're, rather than throwing Tony and having,
Well, I'll tell you experience with Falk Road and with anything concerning the marsh. When I asked, no, Eagle is not at all interested. I'll stay off my soapbox about the lack of interest, but yeah, it's zip.
Has something to do with the
yeah.
lawsuit that happened.
Yeah, and it's zip.
Okay.
Joe.
I will talk to Brian Clausen tomorrow, because he's head of the wastewater treatment plant. And Tim Stalka used to check the Shiawassee to make sure we didn't discharge too much untreated water. He has a discharge rate. So I will talk to Brian tomorrow to find out, because they do testing all the time.
So we might be doing testing, and we're just not aware of it.
Right.
Right.
Which
Well,
is-
where would he be doing it on the Shiawassee at?
Downstream from the poop plant.
Okay, yeah, well,
Quite a
that's,
ways away.
yeah, that's quite a ways away,
But still, it will give him an influence of what, we used to have a dam at Davisburg, but we were the first wastewater treatment plant on the Shiawassee River. So if we had a high discharge rate, it affected Fenton, Linden, Argentine, all the way to Durand into the Flint River. So we always kept our discharge rates very, very low. So we weren't stepping on toes downstream, because that's what you have to watch out for. The guy down, the last one on the stream's going, wow, woo, we gotta treat more water and get our level down to match the feds in the state. So I'll talk to Clausen tomorrow and find out, I'll report at the
Okay.
next meeting about
Why don't we
what's
do
coming
that?
off. Or,
Because, if he can give us.
Because if it's
he
slow,
could
if it's
get-
slow, and
Mm.
there's no reason to do the testing, then I just, one less
Okay.
thing that Tony has.
That sounds good. If you could bring that back, I would appreciate that.
Well,
Yeah.
John, you're gonna run a test anyways, you said. So
Right,
if
so-
John brings us the results of his test.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole purpose of the swampland, it's a natural filter.
Right.
Right,
So,
Let's- let's make
not
sure-
that we should be dumping a bunch of poop and stuff.
right,
The purpose of a wetland is as a filter,
right.
so.
All right, well, then we'll go with that. Joe, you'll look up and we'll go from there. see
Yeah, I'll
what-
talk to
if he's gonna
Clausen.
do. All right, that sounds like a good idea. That way, like you said, Kurt, not duplicating anything there, and probably Although I think Tony would do a great job, I think he's probably got a bit more sophisticated equipment than we than dunking our hands into the water, so.
Well,
All
that's
right.
probably what they do, is they probably have a pole and go
Pole,
out there
yeah, right.
and sink it.
Do a scoop.
Yeah.
All right, bear with me in case I had this in wrong order, but the next item I was gonna put down, and I'm gonna ask Mr. Love's input on this, and that's our information box proposal. John, if you'd like to,
I've got a big one right here. Anyway, it's in the box. And Calypso Sign will make a decal and put on it, so people know that there's a headquarters here, and that there's information here, and we can find out what's here, because I don't know if,
could you step closer to the mic, John?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Okay, hello.
Hello.
Anyway, this way there'll be some information available, that there's a nature center, the hours of operation, phone call, whatever you want to do, what features are here, and a map of the area. I don't know if, are there any moose around here? I don't know if it's a native in this area. The only place I've seen moose is up in Alaska.
There are moose in the here,
Yeah.
but yeah.
No
So-
Wolverines.
No overreach,
Just the
right?
woodcutter.
Well, I'm waiting to see the big turtle. Did you see him this year?
I did not see
Oh.
this year.
Okay. So anyway, that's what I brought along, and he's gonna, Calypso's gonna make it so it'll look nice and people can read it. And then you can
Whereabouts
find
you-
out that there's a nature center and a headquarters here, because people,
Whereabouts you gonna put this?
down by the road.
By the entrance?
Yeah, so people can
Okay.
get some information.
And next question, taking advantage of you, did you also offer to put the post in and put it up?
Yeah, I got the post too.
Okay,
It's a steel post, and it's not gonna be a flimsy piece of junk. The other thing I see here, that they have a disc golf course over at the state park. I didn't realize that was there, so we could mention that. The point I'd like to see is, this is a map of all of the state parks in Holly. And you can see there's a lot of green on that. We should have these folders available for people to pick up so that they know what else there is. I didn't realize the configuration of all of these parks that are around here. And we have that, if it's a resource point. And I also made a presentation, talked to the township about listing what assets they have and what their plans are for all of these different assets. Because we're part of the township, but those properties are also accessible on the river. And the village, we're on the village too, and that's part of the township, so people can learn about all of these at one place. And I don't know what's a township park or village park or whatever, state park, so that you can get information on all of it at one place, because we are the heart of the parks. So that's where that is. Thanks.
Well, I guess the thing, I'd ask the board, we're going to take John up on his offer to place in an information box, and questions you might have.
Yeah, I have a concern, Mr. Love, thank you so much for the offer. And it probably will be beautiful. Where will the maps, come from?
Well,
Is
we're
that
gonna make the
something-
map. Tony and-
And then my second thought is that personally, although I like maps for hiking and things like that, I think most people these days use their phone or some other electronic device to find this info. I'm worried that in the rain, or teenagers, or, somebody could just come and empty it, worried about the feasibility of a
There's
paper map.
nothing now, you can go out and get lost right now out there.
You could.
There are maps at the nature center, there is an information wall at the nature center. My only concern
You
with
got this
listing other people's stuff is then people call me because they think I'm responsible for it.
Responsible,
I already get
yeah.
a ton of phone calls
That's true.
about
I
village
will
parks.
agree
I'm
with
just
you.
gonna say,
I will agree
um,
with you on that. I think it should be, if more than willing to accept your generosity, but I think it should be, I don't have a problem maybe listing off the state parks and showing other state parks, but as it goes for like with the township properties, they really haven't done anything with them. And actually several of them after their last meeting are up for sale. So that, you know, and the thing is they're not set up really for the public to use. And it's really, and not trying to, you know, be, you know, divisive here, but it's really their business to promote their stuff, you know, and I think that's really kind of where, you know, I'd really like to keep it strictly, you know, our park. And our parks, and if we're working with some other group or something, I don't have a problem promoting them. It's long, you know, some conjunction that works with us, you know.
can I
that would be-
suggest that instead of at the front of the park, because there's really no parking there, especially when the cops park there,
Right.
which he has a lot, maybe we could, John, you could put your thing up by the ball fields or the pavilion up there,
Well, Tony, I did.
because that's a parking area.
Thought
By
of
the
it as
roost.
well, if it's talking about the area resources, I would like to see it maybe down here. In, you know, Carl Richter Center, somewhere that, is more, public. Instead of keeping it at Sorensen Park, it has all the parks in the area, so why wouldn't it be a community resource here? It could say, Parks
It'll get
information.
lost here.
I'm not, I think the idea of putting it at the crossroads there, going up to the ball field and that, because that kind of alleviates the fact that, okay, you don't have to go back to the nature center. Someone could grab it that's going up to the ballpark and that, there's the information. Because if you're driving in, you don't stop up front. You drive down until you reach the ballpark there. I mean, that's just a
That's a
natural
parking
thing.
area.
Right.
At the parking.
The reason I'd like to see it at the entrance is because that's the high traffic area where everybody goes by and they wanna get some information, now they know they can get it.
But the problem is, nobody's going to pull in and back out. There's really not, because if you come in, you get the information out, you gotta drive all the way down to turn around.
To turn around.
So the idea would be that, you know, we don't have a real big entrance there. If we had a bigger entrance where someone could actually turn their car around, that might be more, you know, plausible.
Well, if they don't know it's
If-
there, they won't even go into the park
If you
to
go
find
into
out.
the Richter Center down here, go to the village offices, they have a community board down there that tells you, you know, where you can get free diapers, what churches you can go to, what county offers down in Oakland County. So there's a big information board access right here at the Richter Center as you go in the lobby of everything, state parks.
Oh, I
everything.
mean, you know, having information for us in there, that's great. But I still think having something out at the park. But I agree I have to agree that I think putting it back there would be better. If we had a bigger entranceway or had someone, it was easy for them to turn around and say, okay, I got my information, I'm going,
There's
you know.
so
I
much
would-
traffic on the road, there's nothing in the entryway.
But the problem is, the entryway isn't big enough for someone to stop. That's what when I was looking at ideas for that front entranceway, I was like, you know, it's really not as big as you think it is.
Not at
You know,
all.
we're really kind of slid in there. And I really wouldn't want to cause any more issues with someone, you know. I think the box would probably be ignored because people would drive by it. Now, if we had room going down further where you had to cut up, but we really don't. It's basically just a if you could call it a 2-lane road. I guess it's 2-lane technically,
It
but
is wide enough for two.
two, yeah. But
Yeah.
most natural thing would be to go to the parking lot. I
Hey,
mean,
John.
that would be.
What are you
Everyone
trying
makes a
to,
decision right there.
trying to think how to put this the best way? With putting the information out there, are you trying to get people to know that there's the park here and be able to use it and what we have
Exactly.
available?
That's the whole point. We got the nature center, we got the Moose Trail.
Okay.
Nothing says that the headquarters is there. There's nothing that says there's anything there except a couple ball fields.
Okay. And-
That's the problem.
And to go to
Kathleen.
Kathleen, point with, you know, people use the phones now, they don't really use like the maps and things, that when I go into a park, I usually use my phone to go around and figure out what maps and download them and just go off my phone, because a lot of times when you go and grab the stuff out of the mailboxes, they get wet, they're damp, and you can't even use them. So,
Well, I don't know I don't even know what's on the phone. Do you have a phone? Look it up. Does it have a map of the park?
that I don't know. I haven't,
No,
I don't think it does.
Do
But-
something.
No, I agree. I think probably we should have something.
This is,
that better.
this is easy. It's done. It's there.
But if people don't use it, and that's the
Okay,
part
we'll
of the
put
problem.
we'll put 2 sheets in there and see if anybody takes it. And then we'll know.
well, normally don't do this, but considering our small crowd here, no, if you'd like to.
If I interject here, I like the idea, but I would question whether the public off the driveway would open it because it's illegal to get into somebody else's mailbox.
Mailbox.
Yeah.
It says info, though. It doesn't say mail on it.
Nonetheless.
They're gonna
as
see
you're
a
driving
mailbox.
by, it's too small to say, to give enough information to make that stop, and then the fact that it's somebody else's mailbox. I just question that.
Oh,
If it was some other shape, a box of some other kind. Yeah.
No, that's what it would say.
Yeah, there is online, Mr. Love, the hiker team moose, it's right within the Sorensen Park.
Does it say there's a nature center there?
Yes,
Uh-huh, yep, it does.
Does it have the hours?
yes, I believe it does.
I'm looking. You're asking me, does it have the hours for the nature center? Monday through Friday, 1 to 6, Saturday, 10 to 2. Yeah. Yep, I think it's a great idea. I would like to see more promotion of the entire area, all the assets that we have, like you're saying, there's a ton of assets, but I'm not sure that, our little park is the place for it, honestly. I think it should be, maybe downtown in the village, parks, area parks information. And talk
Maybe a
about,
big
like you
map.
said, Seven Lakes, all of them, Groveland, all of them.
They don't do anything in the village.
The Chamber of Commerce.
A clearinghouse place. I think it would potentially get more use there.
Well, okay. I think it would get more
Courtney.
use if
Courtney,
something's
do
there.
you
It's
have any
more than nothing.
questions then?
So,
Oh,
No, well, I just,
No, I was like-
I just didn't want to leave anybody out here, it's like, everybody's had their 2 cents worth in, it's.
Wake up.
Oh, I was just looking on Google Maps to see if any of the trails were marked on there at all. I was just
Oh.
curious.
Well, I guess,
We need
maybe,
to have a place to put maps. I know there's some right up by Sorensen,
On the
but
nature
some of the trails start,
Yeah, I was
So it'd
already
be kinda
thinking
cool
about
to-
that, that it would
yeah.
be a good idea to maybe bring some stuff up to the pavilion and put it in the
Definitely.
At
pavilion.
least-
Or to get another,
Rack.
not rack, another display case to
Oh.
put on the side of the pavilion to advertise things in as well, and then have some racks with some information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it stays out of the weather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had one at one time and someone took a baseball bat to it.
Yeah, that's what.
Well, it is right
that's
by
why
the
I'm saying,
baseball field.
it's a great idea, but a paper
That's
map or
good.
things like this, I could see kids just coming in, emptying the thing on the floor.
Using them to start fires.
Unfortunately.
well,
They can't
considering
find a
listening
place
to
to-
discussion here, I'm going to say, I think maybe we should put it to a vote then. Whether we're accepted as Mr. Love has proposed it or not. I mean, I understand people's, concerns and everything in that, but I think we should give them the benefit of an answer here, kind of a straight answer on it, so.
Would you be willing to move it to up by the ball fields, John?
I'd like to try it there and then move it somewhere else. It doesn't, you
Maybe
can
right
dig it
where the
out,
moose
you can
is
pull it
at
out of
the
the ground.
convergence of-
Maybe
If
the
there's a
mouse
big
could
traffic
hold it.
jam at the entrance to the park, then you can move it.
Yeah, I think right there by the moose would be kinda neat,
Well, I'd like to see
It's a
people
big
that drive
sign,
by
Big moose, and
the heavy traffic areas, see that there's a headquarters and there's information. It's a advertising, promoting the presence of that location. So That's,
So I take it the answer is no.
No, yeah, so you want it at the front, so that's, so if we vote yes for it, it's based on that it will be at the entrance.
I would assume it's at the front, maybe to the right-hand side, so that you can pull up.
The
Because as you
driver?
pull in, that would be the right-hand side where that
I can,
flower bed was.
somewhere.
Right, in the, yeah. I mean, if you're going, if it does get approved, you're gonna have to work with Tony on where, the location that way, cause you, on that. All right, well, let's put it to a vote based on the fact that we're looking at putting it at the front entrance here. Yes votes accepting it, and obviously no votes,
And
not accepting it.
Not at the moose or at the,
At the front.
At the
just
front,
at the front,
okay?
right?
So those all in favor in accepting it at the front, say aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
No,
Nay.
I think, appreciate the offer, but I think, as you see, the consent here is kind of, they want it back, at the back, John, so.
That's fine. It's better than nothing,
So you're
because
willing to put
nothing
it,
is where we're at right now.
okay, so, I guess, do we need to take another vote here, or what would be the consent? Okay, so, John's willing to take it to the, back here at the Moose, the
Right
Moose,
at the split.
yeah, the road split back there, to the parking lot.
The Y in the road.
The what, thank you. I was trying, grasping for something there, exactly how to describe that.
It's a cheese.
So for putting the, okay, so this time around, if we're approving or not approving, placing it back at the Y in the road, back towards the
I would say
pavilions.
putting it in the same, if you're gonna do that, then put it in the same area that I'm talking about where the well would go. So that people can stop there, not stop at the
Now,
pavilions.
you mean, okay,
Right
back,
before you
oh,
get
right
to
before,
there.
right before? Is that acceptable for you, John?
Whatever you wanna do.
Okay, all right, so further back in the park, how about we do that, and Tony and John can work that out on that, how's that, all right? All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Ayes have it.
I might recommend too, maybe somewhere a sign that says, not all parks information contained within are under the jurisdiction of this park. Because in that way, it's diffusing, you know.
We'll just put stuff about our park in there.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
we'll
say
just
that.
do that.
People
More
read that.
information is available at road headquarters.
All right,
Sounds good.
okay,
Thank you.
moving on to, yeah, thank you, John, appreciate it, that.
That was very nice.
Being patient with us too. Moving on to my last item, and that is committee assignments. And I was told to pass out the, what's that? All right.
Wait,
That
I
wasn't
didn't
on
hear
the
you.
agenda.
That's not.
I didn't put that on there?
No,
Okay,
that's
then
what
never
we
mind,
didn't
we
add.
will wait till Sean can do that. Sorry, Sean, I did not get that on there. We will do that at the next meeting then.
so what is?
All right, so we will move on to public comment. Do we have any public comment out there?
I just wanted to show you this map that is on this brochure. It's very informative. I didn't realize that there was a disc golf course in the state park,
Yeah, it's been out there a lot of years.
yeah, down by Grange Hall Road.
Mhm.
It's kind of back in there. It's
Mhm.
quite arduous just driving around those roads to get back into the center there. And there's a lot of bicycle trails and areas that I didn't realize. Coleman has ridden all of these bicycle trails all around here and is very knowledgeable about that. And we are in the heart of this park area, and the more access people have to it and more knowledge they have about what's here, the better it can be utilized and built on. So,
Thank you.
Thank you, John. I'll see no other public comments. Go on to board comments. Start with Kathleen.
I don't think that I have anything. Thank you though. Thank you for the volunteers that did the discs. Sorry, I was working at the time. It looked like fun. And I really got the information out very to a
Yeah,
lot of
we
folks
really
that might
did.
not have otherwise found out until, coming to the park. So, thank
Except for,
you.
for the toilet, that was just kinda hard.
Yeah. Sorry about
Might need a
that,
little
too.
counseling.
I say next year, just stay where you are.
Kurt?
No, I'm past, nothing today.
Just, wanna say, you're doing a good job. Keep it up, you guys. We're getting somewhere and, I really appreciate all the help and stuff that we had for holiday, and I think that this park commission can really get things done, and I'd like to just see it keep going forward.
Courtney?
I was really excited to see how well the Frisbee golf tournament went. That was pretty sweet.
Mhm.
And welcome, because I
Thank
was
you.
not here last time. So that's about it, really.
Joe?
Nothing much to report. I'm on Township or Village Parks, and I told them that we were gonna be looking at some new things to bring people into our township park, and we might be looking at some joint ventures. So, they need some help. That's the only thing. That's all I have.
What are they looking for help with, Joe?
Fundraisers, cause they have no budget.
Okay,
They have a budget, yeah.
We
yeah,
don't have
You're
any
right.
volunteers. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
gotcha, thank
Yeah.
you.
They're always told they have a budget, but they really don't.
No.
The only thing I had a comment on, and it was kind of brought up tonight, and that was something that is on our website. I kind of like to have the Heritage Farm thing taken off our website.
It shouldn't be on our website.
It is.
So I think you have to refresh your browser.
No,
Because-
it's
Is
there.
there-
It's there, it's
still
there.
Okay, I'll
Uh,
check.
You might not have refreshed your
Oh,
And it's,
push.
I refresh it all the time,
it-
so.
Okay,
it's just one of those things where I just don't think we're not involved with it.
Right.
And things are going forward, which best of luck to them, but how that goes, people are gonna have opinions, and I'd rather not have us connect it with it, so. Other than that, I have nothing else to say, and I will,
No, do I get the comment?
Oh. no, I wasn't gonna let you, that was
I
me.
know.
No, I
Make it
apologize there, I apologize for that, Tony, go right ahead.
I wanna apologize, Pat, for the dust up we had. It's just frustrating for me when we have a policy and it doesn't
Mhm.
happen. And Kurt and I are trying to communicate through my own personal email at this point, because for some reason, I sent you all the stuff that you sent me. His goes to some weird place, as I guess yours does too, Pat. But exciting news, we lost Linda, who was one of our volunteers, and we have a new woman whose name is Teresa Rogerson. She will be starting on Monday. She is a little, age doesn't matter. She has more experience that I think will be beneficial to us, or she has some skills that I'm hoping to take advantage of. She has a marketing degree, or almost a marketing degree. She's very into publisher and a whole bunch of stuff that in the past unfortunately our senior aides didn't have any knowledge of. We are going to be losing Nancy, I think in the end of November or December, I'm not exactly sure. So I'm going to have to find someone else, because she's who does our Saturday hours. And I already miss Linda terribly. She's a sweetheart. So if you know of any seniors who are low income or might be considered low income, have them contact me, and I'll put them in contact with the organization that runs that. Basically what they get paid, I don't know what it is, probably minimum wage, I don't think it's much. But I don't think taxes are taken out of the money, and I know, like, if they live in the senior housing and stuff, it doesn't go against their housing, so they don't have to pay extra because they're part of it. And it's very helpful to us, because then we have someone available to be there on weekends and just other things. I'd like to see us moving the disc golf thing forward, because, when we can set up a shop and stuff, hopefully that's gonna help to pay for having someone maybe a paid staff member there on Saturdays, or something along that lines. So,
Tony, could we use an existing little counter?
oh yeah, we
I
could
mean,
do
would it
that,
be-
we
would it
could
be
do that,
much?
I'm gonna have to get merchandise. One of the other things I meant to mention about disc golf, from talking to, people at the tournament and stuff, is that I wanna get like, you know, those bracelets, okay, that says, it'll say, whatever, Sorensen Park Disc Golf Supporter, and, we'll ask people to pay $20 a year, to get that bracelet, and it just shows that they're helping to support the disc golf. So,
Very cool.
I got one more question if I could. I have some sports equipment, you know, like sleds and things like that. Is there a ability to give this to the park in some way and pass them on?
Tony, you've been around, have you ever?
probably, well, it would really depend on what it is, like sleds and stuff, I'm gonna say no, because then you have the liability of a kid using that sled that we've then handed on. Unfortunately, we do live in a Sue Happy society.
They're
I'm
just
wondering
these
if I
discs,
have to use it.
they're just these discs. that they
No,
sell.
I hear what you're saying, John, and I love them. At one point, Sue Julian had built a swallowing quarters through the park a long time ago, and we would hop on those discs at lunchtime and run through the park. But, as far as us handing them on to other people, I think there's a liability of it.
Yeah,
Mr.
we
Moss,
don't-
what about Hyatt?
We don't have a sledding hill here.
Yeah, we don't have a sledding hill.
Right.
I made it wider today, but we don't have it.
Right, right.
We don't have them?
Nope.
Oh, sorry.
Why not?
Yeah, we don't.
What's wrong with that one that they have?
We don't know about that
We don't
one.
know
you know?
It's a liability issue.
Insurance.
Everything's a liability issue with insurance and stuff.
There used to be a sign up there that said no sledding.
Every time I put a sign up there that says no sledding, it's gone the next day. So,
Someone
They use
uses
it
the
to
sled.
sled.
they
like
use
that.
it to sled.
They need a sled.
So, if it's anything other than sleds and stuff, bring it to me, let me know.
I'll bring it over and you can pick what you want.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
Hyatt, Mr. Love, I was suggesting, the Holly Area Youth Assistance, a
Yeah,
lot of
they-
times those,
They have
things
low
to
income
need.
people that they're always handing
For
stuff
sure.
out to. So,
Or Grand Blank's got a sledding hill too.
yeah,
No,
they
don't.
actually have a sledding hill
No.
Yeah,
that they built just for sledding.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
that's
And I
pretty-
apologize for almost missing you there, Tony. I didn't mean to do that. Seeing nothing else, I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 8:39.
Tony, thank you for your
Thank you.
signs, I'm gonna leave them here. and-
Yeah,
and then-
Yeah.
leave your signs, if you want it back in your plastic, put it back in your plastic. I'm gonna stick
I
it
know,
on
we
the
can
page
leave
for
fingerprints
the-
on. I left it in.
I gotta go back.
Plastic.
I was like,
What is? What did you say you were thinking? Take them home?
I don't even mind. I will lose it, you know.
Yeah.
I would not